You know, the 1960s and 70s was a time of spiritual reflection for Kris Kristofferson. He had a lot of issues in his life in relation to his personal life, his professional life, and his life off the stage. And it has probably led to one of the most important modern day spirituals of the rock and roll and pop era. Today we're talking about, as part of our series on Kris Kristofferson songs, Why Me? Now, also known as Why Me Lord, is an American country and gospel song written and recorded by American country music singer and songwriter Kris Kristofferson. Now, this is off his very key album called Jesus Was a Capricorn. Released in March 1973, it was recorded all the way back in July of 72 at Monument Recording in Nashville. Now, the country gospel song is about 3 minutes and 26 seconds with producer the great Fred Foster. Now, Kristofferson became the toast of Nashville in the early 70s with the massive success of compositions including For the Good Times, Me and Bobby McGee, Sunday Morning Coming Down, and Help Me Make It Through the Night, among many others. Some were recorded by him and made popular, while some were recorded by other artists, including Ray Price, Johnny Cash, Janis Joplin. He had a hit in his own as well with the Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything I'll Ever Do Again. Now, Why Me was recorded by Kristofferson in 72, featuring backing vocals by soon-to-be wife Rita Coolidge and the up-and-coming singer-songwriter, the great Larry Gatlin. It was released on the album Jesus Was a Capricorn in 73 and became the biggest hit of his career. Now, according to country music historian Bill Malone, Kristofferson wrote the song during an emotionally low period of his life after having attended a religious service conducted by the Reverend Jimmy Rogers Show. Malone wrote, Why Me Lord, as the song is sometimes known, may seem greatly out of character of Kristofferson, but it can be interpreted as his own personal religious rephrasing of Sunday Morning Coming Down. In this case, he is coming down not from drugs, but from the whole hedonistic euphoria of the 1960s. Malone described Kristofferson's gruff voice styling as perfect for the song, since he sounds like a man who has lived a lot, but now is humbling himself in front of God. Kristofferson said he went with friends to the church service where he was moved by Larry Gatlin's song, Help Me, Lord. He said that he had never thought of needing help, but it was a low point in his life. When the pastor asked the congregation, is anybody feeling lost? Up goes my hand. Kristofferson says, the pastor then asked me, are you ready to accept Christ? Kneel down here. I'm kneeling here, Kristofferson continues, and I carry a big load of guilt around. And I was just out of control crying. It was a release. It really shook me up. Kristofferson later said it was just a personal thing I was going through at the time. I had some kind of experience that I can't even explain. Now, when Kristofferson met June Carter Cash and Johnny Cash in a hotel room in 1972 to play them two songs he had written, Kristofferson had just attended a rough screening of a movie Johnny and June were heavily involved in, entitled The Gospel Road, which was the story about the path of Christ. Johnny Cash's memoir, Men in Black, reiterated the story that Larry Gatlin sang Help Me at the Evangel Temple, which inspired Kristofferson to write the song. Kristofferson also played Cash's song Burden of Freedom, which was used in The Gospel Road. Now, Why Me was Kristofferson's lone major country hit as a solo recording artist, reaching number one in the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart in July 73. The song peaked at only number 16 of the Billboard Hot 100, but had at the time one of the longer runs at 19 weeks in the top 40. It had the most, again, chart reversal 6-in-1 run on the Hot 100. The song spent a grand total of 38 weeks in the Hot 100 consecutively, almost tying the record set by Johnny Matheson's song Wonderful, Wonderful on the chart for 39 weeks. The song ranked 6th on the list of Billboard's year-end Hot 100 singles of 73. Now, Why Me was eventually certified gold for sales of 1 million units by the Recording Industry Association of America. Now, the reason why it was up and down on the charts is because some secular radio stations were playing it, and some were not until it became stronger. Now, the idea about the song, the lyrics are very, very not say one-sided, but it's his interpretation of what his relationship with the Lord was all about. Now, it went number one in the Canadian RPM country charts and number 23 in the adult contemporary charts. And on the RPM top singles, it went 19. Dutch top 40 went 31. South Africa went number one, Billboard number one to Billboard Hot Country Singles, 16th on Hot 100, and 28th on the Easy Listening. On the U.S. Cashbox 100, went 57th. Now, year-end chart performance: South Africa number one, Billboard Hot 100 number 6, Canada RPM Top Singles number 82, and again, certified gold in the States at 1 million units. Now, numerous people have covered this song and give their own spin to it. Now, Elvis Presley eventually incorporated a song retitled Why Me Lord in his live shows beginning in January 74 up until his last concert tour. It was first released on the live album Elvis recorded live on stage in Memphis in June 74. The recording is from his March 20th, 74 concert in Memphis. He often introduced the song for J.D. Sumner to sing one of his favorite songs. Sumner would sing the verses, and Elvis would join on the chorus along with the backup singers. Presley also recorded the B-side to the single, Help Me, written by Larry Gatlin in December 73, and it remained part of his live shows as well. And of course, Elvis was getting a lot of award recognition for his spiritual songs. Now, Connie Smith's version came out in 1973, as did Melba Montgomery. Tanya Tucker did a version of this on their album Would You Lay With Me in a Field of Stone. George Jones did a version for his 74 album In a Gospel Way. The great David Allan Coe did Why Me on his 77 album Texas Moon. And ironically, British singer Cliff Richard recorded a version of the song for his 78 album Small Corners. Now, Willie Nelson also included a version of Why Me, alongside several other covers of songs written by Kristofferson on his aptly titled 79 album Sings Kristofferson. Now, Merle Haggard's version came out in 81 on his album What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Now, Belle Gardens had a Why Me Lord version on her 2014 album Slow Downs for Lost Conclusions. The Slovenian a cappella group New Swing Quartet did record a version released on their 85 album Oh Happy Day called Why Me Lord. Carlene Davis did a version of it in 92, and Johnny Cash did a version of it on the 94 album American Recordings. Conway Twitty's version came out in 75 on his album Linda on My Mind, and then another longer version on his 94 The Conway Twitty Collection box set. Now, the punk band The Smoking Popes recorded a version of this in 2001. The Gator vocal band performed a powerful version of the song during a 2006 homecoming performance in Toronto, performed with pianist Anthony Berger. Now, the David Crowder Band did a version in 2012. CeCe Winans, the great gospel artist, recorded a version of it on her 2017 album Let Them Fall in Love. Now, Wolfgang Hildebrandt also recorded a version of the song titled Why Me Lord on his 2018 album Country Love Songs. Josh Turner's version came out in his 2020 album Country State of Mind. So the thing is about the song, ladies and gentlemen. I think it comes across as not say a song, but pretty close to it. Now the key is the first two intros of the song. I'm going to give you the lyrics, and you probably heard it, but for those who haven't heard it, it goes like this. Why me, Lord, what I've ever done to deserve even one of the pleasures I've known? Tell me, Lord, what did I ever do that was worth loving you, or the kindness you've shown? Lord, help me, Jesus, I've wasted it. So help me, Jesus, I know what I am. But now that I know that I've needed you, so help me, Jesus, my soul is in your hand. And it goes on for there. And the key line, of course, is Jesus, my soul's in your hand. Now, you wouldn't think somebody like Kris Kristofferson, there was no, like we knew Johnny Cash was an influence on him spiritually and emotionally and lyrically, but in no way in the world we would think Kris Kristofferson would become we used to call that the hippies Jesus freaks back then. It was very unknown, and he never really talked about it much, but there's one interview, I think he did with the CBC later, he said it was just time for me to convert. He said, stop my bad part of life. And Kristofferson was a very spiritual person, always was. And I think you look at Willie and Waylon and Johnny and Chris, the Highwaymen, they always had a spiritual path that they followed. Sometimes we would fall off the wagon, literally and figuratively. But, Chris made something that was timeless, as we say. So that's the story of Why Me, one of the greatest modern gospel songs of all time, a song of faith and a song of commitment and a song of introspection, which is always a big part in gospel music. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing with our Kris Kristofferson tributes in relation to his key songs, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. You've been really supporting the podcast channel's performances of the Kristofferson reviews. So keep her going and tell your friends if you like the channel. If you don't like it, don't tell nobody. Have a good one. Bye.